Have you set New Year's resolutions before but not followed through on them? Or maybe you've set them and you've started to follow through but ended up quitting a week or two later? Well, in this video, I'm going to explain to you how you can crush your New Year's resolutions for 2019. So stick around. The first thing that you need to understand is that there's one thing that separates people who are good or successful at something from people who are not. And it's this concept of every little bit helps, right? Now this does a couple things. When you have the mindset of every little bit helps, you're going to be more disciplined in whatever it is that you decide to do. So let's take people who are very wealthy, for example. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that people who are very wealthy or entrepreneurs who have very successful businesses, they're very cheap, right? Now, we wouldn't think that this is the case, but it's this same concept of every little bit helps, right? They want to make sure that every single transaction that their business makes is beneficial to them. They want to make sure that they're not getting ripped off. They want to make sure that their employees are working the way that they're supposed to be working. Another example, if you want to take professional athletes, right, or professional bodybuilders, they make sure that they eat very clean. They're very disciplined with their eating schedule. They're very disciplined with their training schedule. All of these things that come together give them this kind of discipline that allows them to stick to whatever their resolution or their goal is in a much simpler way. I'm really sorry about this rooster, by the way. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning in Thailand and it's like, I don't even know what's going on. Okay, so once you have this idea in your mind about every little bit helps, the next thing that you need to do is you need to make real world consequences for not achieving your goals, right? Now, it can be anything from shame, right? Feeling shame if you don't actually follow through because you promised people or you publicly admitted that you were going to do something. So one thing that I personally like, because I'm very into fitness, is the snake diet, right? So for those of you who don't know, this is basically prolonged fasting periods where you don't eat with the goal of losing weight. Now, short version is that it's very healthy, it's also very challenging. And what like the main guy of the snake diet says to do is to post accountability pictures in his group. So you have these people posting pictures of themselves, they're, very fat, 2, 3, 4, 500 pounds, with as little clothing as possible. And then not only that, after they post the pictures, they have to invite all of their friends and family into the group, right? So that they can see all of these pictures that they posted. Now, what this does is it causes them to mentally think to themselves, all right, I've already publicly committed to losing this weight. I've already said publicly how important it is to me. If I don't follow through on this, it's going to kind of clash with their identity on like a psychological level, right? If that makes sense. There's actually studies that have shown that once you say something, you're more likely to commit behaviors that will kind of align with that. It's an old sales trick where you get the customer to admit that the product is good and that they would use it and that it's amazing and blah, blah, blah. And then later on, it's harder for them to say, well, actually, yeah, I don't want to buy it because they've already said all these good things about it. So that's number one, is you need to have real world consequences for making that happen. Now, you can do that, which I highly recommend that you do. You kind of absolutely need to. But if you want to do something else, there's a website called StickK, STICKK.com, 2 Ks. And this is... Hello, how are you? This takes a little bit different of an approach. So what this does, how's it going? You want to say hello? Say hello. Hello. How are you? My co-host today on my video. Okay, so what StickK does is it is a website where you pledge a certain amount of money that you will pay if you don't achieve a certain goal. So you're still publicly committing, but it's got the added benefit of actually losing money if you don't follow through with whatever it is that you want to do, if you don't achieve your goal. And you can either donate it to a charity that you support, so you wouldn't feel, that bad if you don't follow through with the goal, or they're also very creative, you can donate it to a charity that you do not like, right? So like, let's say for the sake of argument, you're a Republican, you can commit $500 to a Democratic charity if you don't follow through on your goal. And if you're like one of these hardcore political people, obviously you probably wouldn't want to do that. So that's another way to kind of make sure that you follow through with whatever it is. Okay, so the next tip that I can give you about following through on your goals and making sure you stick to your New Year's resolutions is you need to do things differently, right? Now, I'm not just talking about the habits that you have about whatever goal you want to accomplish, that's obvious. But if this is going to be kind of a new life experience for you, you need to change a lot of things. Because if you only change one thing, let's take losing weight for example. Let's say you want to lose weight and you only start eating a little bit healthier, or you only start going to the gym. Yeah, that's good. It's good that you've done something, but you still have all of these other habits and this lifestyle that is going to kind of try and make you reconform back into what you were doing. What's up? High five. Cool. So what I like to tell people to do is, you need to do things that are a little bit extreme, right? If you want extreme results, you have to do extreme things. If you want different results, you have to do different things than what you're normally doing. What's up? My fan. If you look at people that you admire, right? You want to look at the famous people like Elon Musk, I don't know, Bill Gates, people who are in extremely good shape, right? They all have very extreme routines that have allowed them to get the results that they have. Now, obviously, you don't need to work 100 hours a week like Elon Musk, but try to. You don't need to work out 2 times a day like professional athletes, but strive for that, right? Strive to get yourself there. Now, obviously, we all have responsibilities and things that we need to deal with. Maybe you have a family, maybe you have whatever, some sort of lifestyle that's not conducive to doing. But in order to get to be really good at something or to get the results that you want, if you don't have them, it's probably very likely that it's because of your lifestyle, which is very average in nature, and it's giving you a poor result, because an average habit will give you a bad result, whereas a good habit will give you an average result, and an amazing habit will you get the idea, right? So you're always going to be one level lower than the type of habit and discipline that you have. So those are my tips for crushing your New Year's resolutions in 2019. If you guys agree or disagree, please let me know in a comment. If you have if you guys have your own tips on achieving your goals for 2019 and sticking to your New Year's resolutions, make sure you leave that in a comment below. I'd be happy to hear it. And most of the time, the best tips come from the comments. So I'll share those in the next video if you do that. If you like the video, like, subscribe, let me know. Peace. So that you don't have to worry anymore about whether or not you're going to hear a rooster in the background, or if you're just going to have a fly buzzing around your head.